person, but I was not making it in life. And the whole reason why I even went to that event was because I promised my cousin I would go, and then he backed out the last minute because he had to work. But anyway, it was just also crazy when Jerry Meadows stood on that big stage and he said, "You got to be like a David." And I was like, oh my gosh, he's talking about like the David in the Bible. And I didn't really know that much about the Bible, really, but he had this thing about talking about courage and these different things that it would take. And I was just mesmerized. My heart was pounding, and I was like, oh, I could actually be somebody, because nobody had ever spoken this kind of life into me before. Yes, and it literally changed my whole mindset in one instant. One instant. And of course, that Sunday morning, I gave my life to Jesus, and it was really easy to just walk away from all that stuff that I had been doing before. And it's so incredible when you look back to see, because when this first happened, you guys, I used to think I should change my name. And that's one of the reasons why my name is a Z and not an S, is because I really wanted to change the whole name to like Brenda or something like that, because I felt like I was so transformed over this weekend, right? So I get back and I have all this new information. But the one thing that I learned in that time was this. And it's a mantra that I have been saying for a long time. It's called promise yourself. And it goes like this. Promise yourself to be so strong nothing can disturb your peace of mind. To talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet. To make all your friends feel like there's something so special inside of them. To think only the best and to expect only the best, and to be just as enthusiastic for the success of others as you are for your own. To be too large for worry, too noble for fear, and too strong to permit the presence of trouble. This is my hope and prayer for you, that as you develop into this kind of person, we're going to see you on the beaches of the world. So give me a thumbs up if you've ever heard that before. Promise yourself. I learned it from a woman named Nancy Wilson. She was a diamond back then, and yes, thank you, Amy. So, that's one thing I can always revert to. But if you have a pad and paper right now, write this down. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better, yes. So the story that falls behind that is when I learned, and that's actually Tony Robbins' thing. You have to say it with enthusiasm. You have to say, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Yes! You got to be enthusiastic. And what that does in the spiritual realm is absolutely phenomenal, because it just brings goodness towards you. But you can say healthier and healthier. Every day in every way, I'm getting wealthier and wealthier. Yes! And so you tell yourself this. When I start a new coaching client, they're 100 times a day. You need to say this 100 times a day. So just have them set up a timer on their phone and say it in the morning, say it again at 3, 6, 9, 12. You can do it anytime that works for you. Every hour, say it 5 times. But I started teaching my grandkids this when they were little. And I remember being at the zoo. Now, this is with my daughter. We were at the zoo. And, the San Diego Zoo is so big and crazy, and all these hills and stuff. And we had another hill to walk up, and she looked at me and she goes, I can't go any further. I just can't go any further. And so I said, okay, I want you to look at where your feet are going to step, and we're going to say this together. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Yes. You stop thinking about how hard it is. You stop thinking about how far you have to walk, because you're not looking up here, you're looking where your feet are stepping. And we said it 3 times, and we were at the top of that hill, and she was like, oh, wow. And then my grandson was playing lacrosse, and they had all this, equipment that they're wearing in the middle of the heat of Alabama. And he's the only one that was really scoring, was really a good player. And he was like, I don't know, he's sitting on the bench taking a break, like he's totally wet inside of his uniform. And he remembered that one thing, and he started saying it, and he started saying it, and it difference. He goes, Mima, I scored like 3 scores. I just kept saying it over and over and over again. So I'm going to show you this little video on what happens when we use water. Okay, where are we here? So I'm not like the handiest person on the computer.
She's wonderful. She was telling us at the beginning that when she was a child, her brother hit her upside the head with a baseball bat. And so there were all kind of things said about her as a child, and as far as her learning how it would go from that point forward. But we can see she overcame it. And she said she had some habits that were bad, and Jerry Meadows spoke at an Amway convention and changed her life. He was someone that she said T. Foxworth knew also. Yes, I met Jerry Meadows numerous times every month. Very nice. He was a triple diamond then in the Amway business, which is a top maker of millionaires in the world, you know? So network marketing does work. You have to make sure you're with a company that has been in business at least 5 years. Because many of the companies don't last 5 years. She's probably right now. She just has more than one up at a time, that's all. Just take one off. Once she deletes some, then she can show the multiversity, which is a beautiful video. Very empowering. She'll get it. She said at some point in time she was using drugs, and when she saw Jerry Meadows at that Amway convention, it changed her life. That's the part we came in on because of what he was saying.
I'll put the videos in the chat because I'm not really tech savvy at all, but that's okay. You can actually put me in front of a crowd of people with four ideas.
Hi, Eric. Thank you for joining us.
The whole time. So, but when it comes to technology, I think Tony can relate to me a little bit about that. So, anyway,
I know how that goes. I've done the same thing
so
before.
When you talk to a glass of water and you say, "I love you so much," and then you talk to another glass of water and you say, "I hate you," and other bad negative words and other good negative or positive words to 2 glasses of water. And then when you freeze that water and you bring it back, it is astonishing the crystals that the nice I love you water makes. And what happens to the water that you've spoken harshly to will just get all icky and brown.
That's amazing.
Now, that doctor that I wanted to show you that I'll put in the chat, he actually put rice in water.
Let's see if we can find that.
Glasses, and he had 3 different things that he was saying to them, and then he let it sit for 30 days. And the positive words were just still rice and water, and the other ones had gotten brown and icky, and then the one really bad one had started smelling and had gotten really bad. So in saying all that, the words that we say have so much power in lots of different arenas. So I love to use how water will change. The molecules literally change in water the way you speak to it. And so when we speak hateful things, it just leaves a hateful residue in environment, especially with children. So my main thing that I love to share about is neuropathways. And we all have biological blood that runs through our brains. When we're little, if we learn a language before the age of 5, it'll be really easy because the neural pathways haven't been built yet and they're all brand new. So children learn new languages very easily if they're 5 and under. And many times, up to 10 makes a big difference too. I take drink water.
Here it is. Water.
So anyway, when we grow up,
wow.
and like funniest example. I was told, I was literally called Stupid Susie. And my cousins and stuff always teased me about that because I had this label, right? It was horrible. I was literally put in special math,
It's something.
special reading. When I graduated from high school, I could barely read. It's incredible how May 7th of 1987, that's when my life changed.
There it is.
Actually, no, it was 1989 because it was 87.
And you tell water I love you.
So
Thank
that's
you.
when
And you
I
tell
learned
water I
to
hate you.
yourself to be so strong.
That is
That's when
awesome.
I learned to read books that change your life. When you're getting ready to contact a person, when you're getting ready to make phone calls, read some stuff from a positive motivational book. Say every day in
Wow.
every way, I'm getting better and better. Yes.
Every day
And
and
jump
every way.
around. Say those things because they're
Getting
going
better and
to feel
better.
it. There's a whole other mechanism with smiling
Hi,
as well.
Eric
But
Lopez.
back to the neuropathways. When those
Thank
neuropathways
you.
have literally blood rushing through them as children, and we're told that we're stupid or we're dumb or whatever, then those neuropathways will actually grow out and have like little trees. Now, Dr. Caroline Lee teaches a lot about this if you really want to study it more. There's some other people too, but she's got this very easy system and she's free all over YouTube. I'll put her link in there as well. But really, when you're
I should
building a
share it
new
with the
neural
people.
pathway
Shouldn't
and you want to be a leader and you want to go gold and you want to get that silver bar and you want all these things to happen, you have to program your mind to say you can do that. And you have to build a new neural pathway so that a bunch of blood is running into that one neural pathway. And the way you do that is by the words you say and by books that you read and by the stuff that you listen to. So you literally have to stay away from the TV unless if you're listening to positive motivational YouTubes. You literally have to stay away from certain people that don't believe in you, that want to bring you down and think that you're a failure. Because it takes a while before you can build up a shield. I kind of have a shield built up around me now where when I feel that negative, I can pretty much just say, hey, you know what, you can just sit over there and shut up because you don't have any territory in my day. And get to that point where you can tell it, shut up, man, you are not controlling my life. Okay, the other assignment I have for you today is write out your perfect ideal life. Because you are orchestrating your life. You are the conductor of your life. So if you write out on a sheet of paper,
Should I change to that one? Yes.
all the things that you want to do, map out what you want in your life and strive for that.
Hello. How do I pronounce yours?
Is write out a whole magical day.
I know ends
How
and
would you like to
bras.
start the day?
Yes,
What would you like to do?
Mr.
How would you like to
Bras.
influence?
This.
In that, it should
I'm sorry I mispronounced it.
getting with
Hi.
people to share with them about an opportunity that's building generational wealth for their families. I mean, do you realize how excited my grandkids are about these? This new one is incredible. I'm not getting a very good picture of it, but maybe this would be better. These notes, they love the notes. They're like, let's get the notes out, look at them, because it's generational
Yes,
wealth.
they're beautiful.
And it is this
Golden oats.
business is so exciting to know what you're doing because you're giving power back to people. And it's just so amazing. So in your neural pathways, the blood is going to start to rush into that way. And then you're going to get, put in the chat a 1 if you've gotten more than one no in this business. And the way it affects you, yeah, we've all gotten some no's, right? The way it affects us
It hurts.
is the way we're going to get to the next person and the next person. So know that we're all going to get no's, and that's just part of the deal. But if you let it affect your neural pathway, if you let it pull blood out and go, oh, that's where the rubber meets the road. That's when you have to fight. That's when a lot of videos about motivational stuff will really help you to see through. That's when pulling up your endorphins will really help you. And there's lots of ways to pull up your endorphins, but doing some jumping jacks and eating a really healthy meal, those are kinds of things that pull up your endorphins into a very positive area.
All right.
Now, if you're talking to somebody about this business, they may have a really low self-esteem and they may have a really bad neuropathways.
Okay.
They may not have ever been told anything good or anything lovely about themselves. They may have always been told icky stuff. And so when you come up to them and you're contacting them about a business, it's really a good idea to say, wow, tell me about you. And then they'll tell you, really? Well, tell me more about that. Those words right there, tell me more about that, has landed me more business and more amazing friendships in my life than you can shake a stick at.
Interesting.
Tell me more about that.
Personal
because people don't
interest.
ever get to talk about themselves. And when they have this person asking them to tell me more about that, it is absolutely phenomenal. And, I love to talk and I love to share, but when I'm with a new person, I need to really be quiet. Now, many of you may know that I have attended many of Danny Johnson's events, and I had been at a First Steps to Success. Now, she's made enough money where she has 300 homes on her property.
Wow.
She's taken in people that have been in sex slavery. So she's teaching them a lot of what I'm sharing right now. There's a lot that I learned from her.
How nice.
But I had just been at her event. I was in Los Angeles. I was at the airport, and we were in line. And this man, just started visiting with these people. Hey, how are you guys? And they were like, oh yeah, we've been here for my daughter's wedding. And so the first thing I said was, did she get married on the beach? And they said yes. And I said, did you guys all go barefoot? And they were like, yes.
Wow.
And then I asked them question after question after question. And when it started to get to the time that we were not going to be, talking anymore, and he said, what do you do for a living? And I was in a video conferencing company back then called Comet5. And he goes, they couldn't get the card quick enough. And when are you going to call? And you know what? He has an account with me today. This was a long time ago because I built a friendship with them over the years, and they buy a coin every month. And that was so many years ago.
Build a relationship
I
first.
still don't even know if they know I'm from Arizona.
It was all about them.
I wanted to know everything about them. So when you talk to people, build them up, lift them up. Nobody else is going to do it, and so you're going to stand out. Especially now when you're a female and male, there's some different things like, with females, just say, God, you have such a pretty smile. Wow, did anybody tell you how amazing you are today? Has anybody told you how amazing you are today? I mean, people are like, wow. When I fly, I try to change the entire atmosphere of the people around me by smiling, by talking, by giving compliments, because you have the capability to change the atmosphere of everybody around you. So when you're thinking about the neuropathways and how much blood is flowing into the one that says, I can build this to silver. I can get that silver bar. I can help 5 people get that silver bar. When you're telling yourself these things, it's going to create more blood flow into that neuropathway. And then all the little trees that grow out from there are just going to be so much more positive and so much more amazing. It is a beautiful thing to be able to share this with you guys because it's literally changed my life in so many different ways because I try to look at the sunny side of everything and to make all my optimisms come true. And at that, I'm going to introduce our speaker for the day, our main speaker for the day. And you guys have heard him share and teach before. He is so gifted. And I don't think he has any negative neural pathways. I think they're all really, really, really amazing neural pathways. And Tony has taught us so much over the last few years. I have notebooks over here of things that he's taught me. And he's part of this neural pathway that I have because of his influence in my life. I'm so grateful for
He's
this
my
man.
mentor too.
So listen closely
Yeah.
and don't forget, you are in control of your future more than you ever realize.
He has been very
Tony, the
helpful.
floor is all yours, my friend.
Man of
All right,
serves
Susan.
you.
Oh man, I learned so much in the last 20 minutes, man.
He's very helpful.
It
He
was
serves.
amazing to hear the information. Again, brought back some memories about some things. So do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen, put a 3 in the chat if you thoroughly enjoyed Miss Susan like I did.
Yeah.
And hopefully you guys were taking
For
copious
sure,
notes
for
as well.
sure, for sure.
See, oh, wow, nice.
Love her.
Sorry, my computer's still messed up.
I just asked Susan at the last minute.
What?
I just felt led to do that, and I had no idea, she was going to talk about that. But again, that's powerful when you learn about the power of that subconscious mind, and speak, having the right kind of conversation with yourself. I mean, one of the books I was encouraged to read by one of my $1 Million a Month mentors was a book by Shan Hemstetter, and it's entitled "What to Say When You Talk to Yourself." Okay, what to say when you talk to yourself. And in that book, it talks about how
thinking out loud.
70% of the conversation we have on a daily basis is between you and you. Okay? Think about that. 70% of the conversation that you have, that I have every day, is between you and you.
Because you're thinking.
Okay? So one of the reasons why so many people are not having success, and Susan touched upon it, ladies and gentlemen, is that what are you saying to yourself? What kind of conversation are you saying to yourself? What kind of mantras are you saying to yourself? Because that subconscious mind is by far the most powerful of your conscious mind. That subconscious mind. I mean, think about it.
I am
Your
loved.
subconscious mind is so powerful. It tells your heart to beat $100,000 100,000 times a day without you even thinking about it.
I love people.
That's what your subconscious mind do. You don't think about it. You don't tell your heart, I need you to beat 100,000 times a day. Your subconscious mind, when you sleep, the subconscious mind tells your heart to beat 100,000 times a day without you even thinking about it.
We are wonderfully made.
And when you learn how to, master that concept, your self-talk and everything else, and you're telling yourself the right things, you're having the right conversation.
We were created
so many
beautifully.
people are not having the kind of success they want to have because, they're talking themselves out of success, I mean, I had to catch myself early on as an entrepreneur. When things didn't go my way, man, my guess always
involuntary.
I was having the wrong conversation with myself. I was having the wrong conversation with myself. My mentor, who, for the last 10 years, he was the number one earner in all of network marketing. He had a 3-year run where he made 1.2 to 1.5 million every 30 days. And I saw him speak one time at one of their conventions. I was never part of the company. He was one of my mentors. He lives in the Houston area. And so he would invite me. He tried to recruit me several times in his company, but I was in a competing company. And he would invite me from time to time to listen in on some of his leadership trainings and stuff. And I'm grateful for that. And I saw him one time speak. He went Facebook Live before he was able to speak at one of his company's conventions. I saw his self-talk behind the stage. And one of his self-talk before he got up there on the stage, he would tell himself, "I love my audience and my audience loves me." And that's what he would say before he went out. And he was just constantly saying that to himself before he ever walked out on the stage. "I love my audience and my audience loves me. I'm going to add value to my audience, and my audience will add value to me." So that was his conversation. They went out there. It was amazing. You saw some life-changing stuff, some information like that. But he would tell himself, and I borrowed that. So when I speak on the stage, and I spoke on the stage for as many as 5,000 people at a time, and it can be it can be frightening, to say the least, ladies and gentlemen. Because I think we all know that the number one fear in America, even above death, is public speaking. I don't care if it's on a Zoom. It's less intimidating on a Zoom Uh, it's a little bit more intimidating if you're sitting down one-to-one in a small group, but it's a whole lot more intimidating when there's 100 people out there, when there's 1,000, and when there's over 5,000. I mean, the biggest stage ever spoken on that 5,000. And I remember going out there with those lights shining in your eyes. You couldn't even see people out there, man. You know, I mean, so you just had. It was like you was talking into a big dome and stuff, you know. And to borrow a joke from Seinfeld, could they say that again? The number one fear in America is public speaking, and death is like number 4. And Seinfeld, I heard Seinfeld say something years ago. He said, if that's the case, when you go to a funeral, the person doing the eulogy would rather be in the box.
No.
Okay? I mean, but that just shows you how frightening it is, you know. And to be able to perform at a great level, you know, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's a home meeting, whether it's a restaurant meeting, in front of 100 or even thousands of individuals, I mean, it pays, it helps if you're having the right conversation. So definitely hats off to you, Susan. Learn some beautiful things about those neuropathways and stuff. And again, I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins. You know, he's a big fan. He teaches a lot of NLP. But all of those things help you tremendously if you're going to be successful as an entrepreneur. The great Jim Rohn, one of my first mentors in network marketing, I was blessed to hear him on stage a couple of times. One of the things he would say, and you guys have heard me say it many times, he said, in order for things to change, you have to change. In order for things to get better, you have to get better. He said, don't wish it was easier, just wish you were better. He said, let others lead small lives, not you. Let others cry with small hurts, not you. Let others leave their future in somebody else's hands, but not you. But he would oftentimes say about having success in network marketing. He said, you'll have the kind of success you want to have in network marketing and in business as a whole, as an entrepreneur, when you work harder on yourself than you do on your business. So everything Susan talked about, that's that personal development, working on yourself. You'll have the kind of success you want to have. The greatest athletes we've ever read about. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what we don't see is what happens behind the scenes. We see what happens once they're on the field. We see once they're on the court. What we don't see, the tens of thousands of hours they spend when nobody's watching. The tens of thousands of hours they spend when nobody's in the arena. You know, the conversation they have, the culture that they have. And so, I would encourage you to do the exact same thing, ladies and gentlemen. Work on yourself. So today we're going to talk about a skill set. I'm thinking about what to train on today. Today we're going to talk about a skill set that I learned, and I'm constantly looking to better my best. And it's from Eric Warren's book, GoPro. It's The Power of Inviting. Okay, The Power of Inviting. He calls it the gateway skill in network marketing. The gateway skill. He said because in the book, GoPro, which is by far the #1 best-selling book of all time in network marketing.
Let's see if we can find it here.
Last I checked, he had sold 4 million copies in 2012. This is my original copy I got back in
he's beat up.
2012. When I first heard about it.
Yes,
I had met Eric Warren a few years before that. And so I got that book, and it's helped me tremendously as far as the skill sets that I need in order to be successful. In that book, it talks about the power of having different skills. He said Tiger Woods played the same amount of tournaments in 1995 that he did in 1996. But in 1996, Tiger Woods made $18 million. Only difference from one year to the next, he decided to go pro. He decided to make it more than just a hobby. He wanted to make a business out of it. He wanted to become profitable out of it. And so in the book GoPro, Eric Warren talks about 7 skill sets. Not 70, not 700, but 7 skill sets. He said if you get good at them, you'll make full-time income on a part-time basis. You start mastering a few of them. Now you're looking at 6-figure, 7-figure, and even 8-figure your income. But he calls this one a gateway skill about the power of inviting people to take a look at what you're doing. He said that because here's the truth of the matter. If you're not able to get people to take a look at it. He said, I already know what the paycheck gonna look like. If I can't get people to at least take a look. And so, it's a very important skill. And do me a favor, put a 3 in the chat if you would like to be able to have 70% of the people that you invite to watch a video, to come to a presentation, to actually show up. Put a 3 in the chat if you would love to have those kind of numbers. 70% and 80% of people that you invite to a presentation,
99%.
that you invite to a one-on-one, that you invite to a Zoom, to actually show up.
Yeah.
If you master this skill, that's what you're looking at, those type of results. I've had, before I even knew about this particular skill, I remember my first company because I had a condition that you heard a lot about in neuromarketing. It's called ignorance on fire. Okay, and that's what a lot of people have when they come in neuromarketing. They ignorance on fire. Les Brown said, if you set yourself on fire, the world will come and watch you burn. So, and because of that, early on, ladies and gentlemen, if you have that fire, that excitement, enthusiasm, you can get people to come out, and you can get people, so you can have a certain level of success. But sooner or later, you're going to have to learn some skills. Because that ignorance on fire is going to only last so long. I mean, your parents are proud of you, because you make straight A's. And you're 6 years old in the first grade. They proud of you. They're not as proud if you're 9 years old and you're still in the first grade. Okay, so you got to learn to have some skills, develop some skills. And one of the skill sets that everyone talks about is the power of inviting. How do I get more people to come in and take a look at it? Okay. Well, the first thing he says, there are 4 rules for emotions, okay? And you got to learn not to take it personal. And that is easier said than done, because I remember when I first got involved, anytime somebody would throw out pyramids or whatever, I mean, I get flashback to my playground growing up in the hood, and it was like somebody talked about my mom. So I was ready to fight. I was ready to get down with it. But put a 3 in the chat if you had a difficulty early on whenever somebody would throw out the word pyramid. And it would frustrate you, it would, cause you to, to want to hurt somebody, because they're talking about your business, I took it personally. It's like they, because growing up in the hood, people can say a whole lot of stuff about you. But the one thing that was crossing the line, I don't care who you were, you didn't let nobody talk about your mom. Because they start talking about your mom, okay, we fight. I don't care. I don't care if you're twice as big, we fight. I don't care if you're the bully, we fight. If you talk about my mama, we fight. We passing licks, okay? So, that being said, one of the first things, if you're going to be an excellent inviter, if you're going to be a professional inviter, there are 4 rules that you're going to have to master as far as your emotions. Okay, the first thing you got to do is emotionally detach yourself from the outcome. Again, that's easier said than done. And one of the easiest ways to do that, ladies and gentlemen, is invite more people. So if I'm only inviting, if I'm only talking to and inviting 4 people a week, and 3 of them say no, it's more devastating. But if I'm inviting 10 people a week, and 3 or 4 say no, it doesn't hurt as bad. If I'm inviting 20 people a week, and 5 or 6 of them say no, it don't hurt as bad. So the first thing you got to do is emotionally detach yourself from the outcome. A second thing that you're going to have to do to be a better inviter is to be yourself. It was William Shakespeare who said, to thine own self be true, and thyself besides, I cannot be false to any man. Be yourself. Be the best version of you. Do you, but become a better version of you. Okay? Now here's the thing, I constantly harp upon this for up-and-coming entrepreneurs. The first thing I tell them, so that again they can put them on the right pathway as far as the mindset and everything else, is that you have to understand, you have to come to the conclusion that the moment you sign on a dotted line, I don't care if you had network marketing experience or not, you were good enough. Okay, I need you to get that. The moment you sign on a dotted line, you were good enough. But in order for you to do something that you've never done, you're going to have to become somebody that you never become. So, but the best lessons I've learned as far as how to teach someone how to be the best version of themselves, I said, listen, you got to learn the basics and then do you. Learn the basics and then do you. Do it within your own personality. Okay, because network marketing is about duplication. It is not about cloning. I've seen companies, ladies and gentlemen, and the top leader had a certain personality, and everybody tried to go on stage and be like that person, and that's not their personality. Now you come across as false. Now you come across as, inauthentic. Okay, because I give the example oftentimes. If I learn how to do three-way calls, let's just say my sponsor was a 25-year-old Southern girl that spoke with a high-pitched voice, and she taught me how to do three-way calls. If I started trying to talk exactly like her to my friends, I promise you, nobody's gonna want to have anything to do. If what you're doing gonna have you talking like that, hey, leave me out. Okay. So network marketing is about duplication. It's not about cloning. So do you. Okay, learn the basics and then do you. Become the best version of yourself. All right? Come across as genuine and authentic. The third thing you got to do that deals with your emotions, when it comes to inviting, if I'm going to be a better inviter, is that you got to bring your passion, that enthusiasm, and that energy when you invite. I mean, you ain't got to be screaming to the top of your voice, but you got to look at it. Why should somebody want to come and take a look at something if I'm not even excited about it? If my voice don't go up a couple of, if my volume don't come up just a little bit more than what I normally talk about, I mean, why would anybody want to be a part of it? I mean, when I'm asking that question and stuff, outside of what you're currently doing, are you open to another stream of revenue? I mean, they got to be able to feel you, ladies and gentlemen. The great Maya Angelou put it like this. She said, people might forget what you say. They may even forget what you do, but they will never forget the way you made them feel. And if you got the excitement, you got the enthusiasm, I mean, people got to feel you, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be able to pass that energy along. And then last but not least, when it comes to emotions, to be a better inviter, you got to have posture, okay? You got to have that posture. Now, here's the difference, ladies and gentlemen. Posture is not arrogant. I'm not trying to act like I'm making $100,000 a month when I'm not making $100,000 a month, okay? It's not arrogance, Posture is that confidence that you project that. I mean, because I've made six figures for multiple years in this space, I have a certain amount of posture. And the posture is basically this. I'm not chasing anyone. I got something I want to give you. Posture is when I'm talking to my family and friends, when I've got involved in, I've only built 3 companies in my 21 years. So typically when I get involved, one of the first people I'm going to talk to is my family members and loved ones. And I do that just to get it out of the way, ladies and gentlemen. But they know that I'm serious about it. And my posture is simply this. I'm letting you know about this. So when it blows up, and I have full intentions of it blowing up, I don't want you to come back to me 6 months from now and say, hey, why you didn't say something? I don't want to have a conversation with you a year from now and say, why you didn't say something? But my posture is this, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to my family members, my friends, when I'm a part of a venture, is this. They know that the train is going to go to the station whether you come on board or not. I would love for you to be a passenger. I would love for us to ride this train together. I would love for us to go and get this gold out of this gold mine together. But posture is, I'm not begging you. I'm simply letting you know I'm in business. Here's what I'm doing, and here's where I'm going. And I would love for you to be a part of that. So you got to develop. And the more success you have, the easier it is to have posture. Okay? But they got to know the train is going to go to the station whether you get on board or not. I would love for you to be a passenger, whether you come on board or not. Last I checked, there was over 330 million people in the United States. Last I checked, there's nearly 8 billion people on the planet. I can find a handful of people that want more out of life. Okay? That's posture, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so here's the 8 steps to doing a professional invite. Now it's a lengthy lesson. I'm just gonna cover some basic stuff about it. But these are the steps that Eric Warren teaches in the book Go Pro. All right. So again, the first thing you gotta, you gotta emotionally detach yourself from the outcome. You gotta be yourself. You gotta bring some passion, ladies and gentlemen, and you gotta have that posture. But now let's talk about the actual 8 steps. Again, these are ones that, again, will allow you to become a professional inviter. And here's the thing I want you to write down today. Professional inviters, they learn how to say less to more people. I want you to write that down. They learn how to say less to more people. Whenever I go to the airport, ladies and gentlemen, I pick and choose, but I'm typically going to find 3 to 5 people that I can build a rapport with, and I'm going to share some information with them later on down the line. But you got to learn how to say less to more people. You're a lot more effective inviter when you can spend 5 minutes with 30 people than to spend 30 minutes with 5 people. Okay? So the way you do that is that, number one, you got to be in a hurry. So what does that look like? Let's just say I'm making a phone call. Hey, Val, I'm glad I caught you, man. I'm on my way out the door. Hey, Val, I'm glad I caught you. I'm getting ready to jump on another Zoom. So you got to be in a hurry. You got to let them know up front, I'm in a hurry. I'm glad I caught you. That way they know this is going to be a 2 to 5 minute conversation. Because I've already told you. So if they try to make it longer than that, then you can just go right back to the fact, hey, like I said, I'm getting ready to jump on another Zoom. Okay, I'm on my way out the door, whatever the case may be. So be in a hurry. All right? And the major reason why you want to be in a hurry, because people got to know you got something going on. And for those who like to have a 2-minute conversation to a 30-minute conversation, then you can politely let them know when they try to drag it on. Hey, like I said, I'm getting ready to jump on a Zoom. So number one, be in a hurry. Number 2, compliment the prospect. All right? You giving them a genuine compliment. I'm not talking flattery. I'm talking about a genuine compliment.
Genuine compliment.
Hey, Susan, I'm glad I caught you. I'm on my way out the door. But Susan, the reason I'm called, I've always admired the fact that you've been a serial entrepreneur since I've known you, and you still tend to always have success. Okay? Hey, Val, I'm glad I caught you, man. I'm on my way out the door. Listen, the short time we've known one another, I've always been impressed with your background, how you've had phenomenal success in sales, how you built an $8 million sales force, ladies and gentlemen, in just a year's time. So I've always admired the fact you've been able to do that. Hey, Ian, listen, I'm glad I caught you, man. I'm on my way, actually getting ready to jump on a Zoom. But Ian, listen, I know we've only known one another for a couple of years, but I've always been impressed how you've always been a serial entrepreneur, and you always seem to find out what's the next best thing. So give them a genuine compliment. All right? And the reason why you want to do that, ladies and gentlemen, because if you give them a genuine compliment, a heartfelt compliment, they're more apt to listen to what you're talking about. Okay? All right? So after the compliment of the prospect, number 3, you want to make the invitation. Ask the question. And again, I say keep it simple. I tell people stay away from the word opportunity, because if they've had any kind of negative impact from network marketing, that's going to be a red flag. So use some simple ones. I'm going to give you a couple of simple ones I've used over the years. The invitation might go something like this. Hey, Susan, I'm glad I caught you. I'm on my way out the door. I've always admired the fact you've been a serial entrepreneur. You and your husband, y'all made an Amway. And y'all had phenomenal success no matter what company you've been a part of. So listen, Susan, I just got a quick question. Outside of what you're currently doing, are you open to another cash flow? Hey, Susan, I got a quick question. Outside of what you're currently doing, are you open to an additional stream of revenue? Listen, Susan, outside of what you're doing, do you have any kind of income insurance? Okay, so, and again, make the invitation. And when I make the invitation, I'm only looking for 1 or 2 ounces. I want you to write this down. When I make the invitation, I'm looking for 1 or 2 ounces. Yes or no. One of the greatest networkers I've ever had the pleasure of spending time with and reading his books. He was one of the top recruiters in the world for many years. His name was Jet. His last name was Jet. So he would say all the time, tell me yes or tell me no, but tell me fast, I got to go. He said, tell me yes or tell me no, but tell me fast, I got to go. So make the invitation, okay? And again, when I make that invitation, I'm okay. Yes or no, I'm okay. Maybe ain't gonna do. Yes or no, and I'm cool either way, ladies and gentlemen. But that's what I'm looking for. I want to know yes or no right off the bat, so I don't waste your time and you don't waste my time. So make the invitation. And when you make the invitation, I mean, I look at it like, okay, now the dance starts. Now the dance starts. When I make the invitation, basically what I'm doing, I'm asking Cinderella to go to the ball. Okay, I make the invitation. And I went to the club back in the day, before I became a Christian. So I've been in the club. It was okay, Every lady I asked to dance didn't say yes. But I didn't ball up in a fetal position. I didn't leave the club in anger. I didn't want to fight, I just looked for somebody else to ask the question.
To dance.
Okay. Last I checked, she wasn't the only one in the club.
That's it.
All right, so make the invitation. Now, this number 4 is one of the things that Eric Warren said made him a lot of money over the years. This phrase right here, and I've used it countless of times ever since I learned it. If I were you. If I were you. So let me give you an example. So let's just say I'm piquing Susan's interest, and I'm inviting her to take a look at something. And say, hey, listen, Susan, I'm glad I called you. I'm on my way out the door. I've always admired how you and your husband have been serial entrepreneurs. I love the way how y'all work together, no matter what the business venture. And so I got a quick question for you, Susan. Outside of what you're currently doing now, are you open to another stream of revenue? If she says yes, then only if she says yes do we continue what we're talking about. If she just say no, hey, listen, I'm glad I called you and stuff. Listen, let's catch up later. All right? But if she says yes, then if I would you, it would be something like this. Like I said, Susan, I'm getting ready to jump on the Zoom, but if I sent you a short video about the company, would you watch it? If I would you. If I sent you a 9-minute video that kind of explains what we do in a nutshell, would you watch it? If I would you. And what Eric Warren said, people are more inclined to do something if you do something first. Let me say that again. People are more apt to do something if do something first. It becomes more reciprocal. If I do this, if I take the time and send you this video that has changed many folks' lives, would you watch it? All right? And then, if she says yes, confirmation number 1, I'm going to get the commitment. All right, Susan, so when do you think you can take a look at it? Okay? That's all that means. Commitment 1, when do you think you can take a look at it? She said, you know what, I'm real busy right now, but probably tonight after 8 o'clock. All right, so if I call you tomorrow, you would have watched the video for sure after church. You say yes. So that now I'm confirming the commitment. Okay. So, what time is the best time for me to call? That's confirmation number 3. What's the best time for me to call you tomorrow after church, after you watch the video? You say, well, give me a call at 3 o'clock. Okay, great, Susan. I look forward to speaking with you tomorrow after you watch the video at 3 o'clock. Is this the best number? And then last but not least, and here's what many of you guys lose it at, get off the phone. Like I stated earlier, understand, if you're going to be efficient, if you're going to be able to go through the numbers, if you're going to be able to do the numbers, you got to learn how to say less to more people. So I've seen people do all 7 of those first steps, and then they don't do that last one, and they end up losing that prospect. Because now you're not genuine. Now you just told them you're an earner and you get ready to jump on the Zoom. But 20 minutes later, you asking, okay, well, how's your granddaughter doing? How's Uncle Leroy doing? Okay, well, again, you told him you was on your way out the door. You told him you was getting ready to jump on the Zoom. So get off the phone. If you were sitting beside me and I was doing invites, you're looking at 3 to 5 minutes. I am on the phone, I am off the phone, and I'm sending them a video. 3 to 5 minutes. And that's all this should take, ladies and gentlemen. On the phone, off the phone, and I'm sending them a video. 3 to 5 minutes. And I'm encouraging you to do the same. That becomes the best use of your time. Because if Susan comes on board, if Val comes on board, if Ian comes on board, and I'm using a system like this, then they know that he's running a business. They're going to respond in time, because if they come on board, they're going to want to learn how can I also build a business. So let me go over this again before we wrap it up and open up for Q&A. Number 1, be in a hurry. Number 2, compliment this prospect. Give them a genuine compliment. After you compliment them, make the invitation. Ask the question. Don't assume nothing. Outside of what you're doing, Susan, are you open to another cash flow? Outside of what you're doing, Val, are you open to another stream of revenue? Okay? If you notice, I ain't said nothing about gold and silver. I ain't said nothing about 7K. I just want to know. If they say yes, then step 4, if I would you. If I would you. Alright? If I send you a video, what you watching? If I sent you a 9-minute video that's changed a lot of people's lives, what you watching? If they say yes, okay, confirmation number 1. Susan, when do you think you can take a look at it? Again, I'm not being pushy, but Eric Warren encourages, because I learned in traditional sales, you lock them down in a window. Between 5 and 8, between 6 and 7, you lock them down in a window. But one of the things Eric Warren talks about in the book, I'm looking to work with people. I'm prospecting people that I want to work with. I'm prospecting people that excite me, and that I believe could really add value to my business and to my team. So I'm looking for people. One of the things I'm looking for, and hopefully you guys are looking for that as well, not just somebody that can got some hustle about it. I'm looking for people that have integrity and character. And so, and rather than me trying to put them in a 2-hour window or a 4-hour window, what I'm going to ask, when do you think you can take a look at it? Now the ball is in their court. Now, and I'm going to call back based upon what time they say to call. I'm letting them tell me. Call me after 2. Call me after 3. Is this the best number to reach you on? Yes. Because if I do my part, now the onus is on them as far as them doing their part. So I'm looking for people that have integrity and that have character. All right? That's why I let them tell me what's the best time for me to follow up. Okay? And I'm always using what I learned from my $1 Million a Month mentor, a system called BAM FAM, and you guys have heard me use that before. Write down the acronym BAM FAM, BAM FAM. And this is exactly what Eric Warren is doing here. BAM FAM stands for Book a Meeting from a Meeting. I never get off the phone until we've already signed the next meeting. We have a scheduled time that I'm going to call them back after they watch the video. can set up the next meeting. I'm not leaving my business to chance, and I encourage you not to do the same. Don't leave your business to chance. I'll call it, and I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow at 2 o'clock after you got home from church, after you watch the video. So I'm getting the commitment, I'm going to confirm the commitment, and I'm scheduling that next exposure, which is going to be 2 o'clock tomorrow after church. After that, hey, it's great catching up. Look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. I'm off the phone. 3 to 5 minutes. On the phone, off the phone, calling the next prospect. Okay? 3 to 5 minutes. Alright? And for those of you who go through this process, and again, it's laid out in the book GoPro. I'm just getting some highlights. For those of you who go through this and start mastering that, my promise to you is that success will not elude you. So that being said, I'm going to open up the floor. We got about 10 minutes left. I'm going to open up the floor for Q&A. Anybody got any questions? I'm going to go ahead and unmute everyone. And the floor is yours. Anybody questions? You want to just raise your hand? I'm asking everybody to unmute.
Excellent. Nope.
So, Tony,
Yes.
I'm your lady that you're calling at 2 o'clock. And you call me. And you ask me whatever. You ask me what you would ask me when you call me at 2.
Okay.
And
What I would ask you, again, if you were sitting beside me and I'm doing follow-ups, I'm going to sound like a broken record. So I'm asking the same thing every time. What did you like most or what did you like best? That's it. And I'm going to listen. What did you like most or what did you like best? Well, I like the fact it's gold and silver. I like the fact I can buy it fractionally. I like the fact it's a binary, whatever the case may be. What did you like most and what do you like best? And I'm going to listen, take notes, and that's going to let me know what the next step is.
so
Go
when
ahead.
you ask what do you like best, and I say, oh, Tony, I got busy, I didn't get to watch it. Then what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Great
Yes.
question. Great question.
Mm-hmm.
I want you guys to take note. So again,
We
sometimes
can watch it together
you
now.
know, now here's the and that lets you know if that person have integrity character. If they got integrity character, they're gonna say what you said. But the beautiful thing about utilizing the system that 7K
I used to tell them
put
the
in our
truth.
back office, that's a part of our membership. I already know if they watched it or not. Okay. But I'm just gonna follow up because I said I'm gonna follow up at that time. But if they say, you know what, I got busy and stuff, I said, hey, Sean, listen, I understand. Sometimes life gets in the way. When do you think you can take a look at it for sure?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how I would say. So we can role play on it. So you say, hey, Tony, I got busy. Then, okay, Sean, listen, I understand life gets in the way. When do you think you can take a look at it for sure, Sean? What would you say?
It'll have to be in the middle of the week on Wednesday.
Okay, all right, great. So you said I'm in the middle of the week on Wednesday?
Yeah.
So what's a good time for me to call you on Wednesday after you watch the video?
After about 7:30 or 8. 7:30 or 8. Yep.
Okay, all right, great. Well, listen, I'm gonna call you at 7:30 on
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday. Listen, I understand. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to our next conversation on Wednesday at 7:30.
Okay.
God bless. I'm off the phone.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? That's a good question right there. Very few people ask that because it happens. It happens.
Often.
All right. Anybody else got any question about on the follow-up? The definite fortune is in the follow-up. So here's the thing I'd encourage each of you to do. If you say you're going to call them at a time, make sure you call them at that time. Because that's going to let them know whether or not really about business. Okay? You much rather you call and get their voicemail, you call and say, hey, and they tell you, hey, I didn't get a chance to watch it, than the other way around. All right? I met a lady the other day. She saw the vehicle that I won from 7K. She asked me about it, and I got a chance to share some information. I said, let's exchange information. And I'm going to send you a short video, and what's a good time to follow up. and that was on Friday actually. That was yesterday. And so she said, "Well, call me tonight at 7 o'clock because I would have, she got off at 5. So call me tonight at 7 o'clock after I watch the video." I said, "Okay, great." And then so before I called her, she had already texted me and said, "Listen, I watched the video. This is not for me at that time. But there's a guy that works with me, and he's really into network marketing. I'd like to share that with him." I said, "Okay, great. Hey, Sally, hey, I appreciate your honesty and stuff." And I said, can we go ahead and exchange numbers with Philip so I can send the same information to him?" And she said, "Absolutely." She sent me Philip's information. Okay? All right, anybody else on the follow-up or anything we just talked about today on the gateway skill of building a business in network marketing?
So when Philip's ready to get in, let her get in first.
That's what everybody.
And then Philip will read someone she has sponsored.
Now, for those who want to do a business launch, it's a different invitation.
Mm-hmm.
And we give you the script with that one there, because that's like a grand opening of your business. I've helped now 12 people that I've brought on board. Well, I didn't bring them all on board, but several of my personal sponsors. But I've helped 12 people because I did a business launch for them, make at least 10 grand in their first 30 days, 7K, 12 people. And with them, we went through that list. We had an extensive list of several hundred, if not several thousand. I showed them how to sort, and then we did a business launch for them. And I told them the goal was to get double digit. Had 3 people that within their first couple of days had anywhere from 106 to 194 on their initial launch. And we did the presentation, and we've had over 100 people sign up after one launch. That was the most successful one I had. But we typically will have double-digit people sign up on the launch. But the goal is to get them profitable and get a couple of generals in place so we can help them build something. But again, it's a way to do it. It's a method to the madness, and it's all about that invite.
Hello, this is Teresa. Thank you so much for watching the training or education. If you'd like to have more information, put info or more info in the comment section. Hope you have a lovely day, evening, or night. We love you. Bye.
Anybody want to mute or raise your hand?
I'm still here, though.
If not, ladies and gentlemen, we're 3 minutes to the top of the hour. So looking at the report, there's several of you guys that are close to an extra 250, the extra 500, an extra 1,000, up to 12,500. This is the closeout date. As many of you know, you can get paid on a weekly basis. So Saturday midnight Mountain Time is the cutoff. So I'll be available for the next several hours if you need me for a 3-way call, whatever the case may be. I want to end the call today. Let's make this another phenomenal week coming up. And I want to leave you guys with one of my favorite motivation quotes. It simply said, "Follow your dream, wherever they may lead, and don't be distracted by less worthy deeds. Shelter it, nourish it, help it to grow. Let your heart hold it down deep where dreams go. Follow your dream and pursue it with haste. Life is too precious and too fleeting to waste. Be faithful, be loyal, and all your life through, the dream that you follow will keep coming true." Ladies and gentlemen, I am thoroughly convinced it is a stone cold fact. 7K Matters, we have a better way. Now let's go out there and tell the world. Everyone have a great rest of your day. God bless. Take care.
Thank you. So now it's time for me to play that video I just played, right? I have lots of these under here. And if you look on the YouTube channel here, you'll see where I've done some shorts and done some of the videos that show some of the medals. Let's see. We can show you. That's the food one. That's on the T. Foxworth one. So you have some that are on 7K metals. Here's one that you may see. Let's see if this is a video. It's actually not the video, it's just some pictures here. So I didn't show those on there. But those are some of the coins that Saturn, and those are some others of the planet series. And I think we have taken up enough of your time. This is another one that may be on there. Let's see. But I wanted to show you some of the coins. This is probably one. That was Saturn. And just take a look and see what you like. I won't keep this too long. I have some things I need to do, but reach out to me. If you look in the description, you can see ways to get in touch with me and let me know that you found me on YouTube. I appreciate you so much for joining us. Have a lovely day, evening, or night, depending on where in the world you're watching with us from. Love you. Bye.